Guys, welcome! Another TBA call. It is August 23rd, 2017. You're going to be listening to this in 5 years from now. I wanted to first open up any lines for any new coaches on the team. And I have a new coach on the team, but she's been on the team. But Jess, this is your first call?
I think.
Yeah. I've sent you calls before. So, guys, this is Jess, my newer coach. Jess, introduce yourself to the team. Why are you here? Why I dragged you on? No.
Yes, she drugged me on. Hi, Jessica, 23. I live in Bangor, so like 15 minutes from Kim. We connected on Facebook a little over a year ago. I was previously involved with Advocare, so this isn't too new to me when it comes to like selling products and fitness industry and whatnot, but the atmosphere and the people are totally different. Like it was sales. It wasn't about building relationships with people, and like that turned me off real quick, which is obviously why I'm not with them. And Kim stumbled, I think we just connected on Facebook. I really don't even know how, maybe a wedding. I'm not even sure. But we just started talking about like health and fitness. I remind her of me. You know what I'm trying to say right now? Like, she reminds me. I don't know. I'm trying to say something right now.
Yes.
But everyone's.
All right. Yeah. Is she frozen for you guys? Oh,
You're good now. A little frozen.
You're good now, Jess. Oh, you're frozen now.
Yeah, she's frozen.
Oh, you're good now.
You're back.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Sorry. And no, we just like connected for like the last year, and Beachbody was always on my radar, but I was also kind of had to guard up just because I didn't know. I trusted Kim. I just didn't know if I wanted to do it, but I made the plunge, I think, in June, and I've been slow. I haven't really put the opportunity out there for anyone else to join with me. I kind of want to just do a challenge group with everyone and get a feel for it before I start saying like, hey, do this with me, do that. I want to be very passionate about it before I can make others passionate about it as well. So that's me.
Yeah, Jess. I mean, first off, Jess is one of those people where once she is passionate about something, you can definitely see her soar with it. And like, just like Anna was just saying before we hit recording, when we feel so confident and so fluent with that kind of talk, it's going to get so much easier. And what's really cool about Jess being on, like, obviously this isn't a plan. This is all, you guys know, like, this is organic. What I'm about to teach you guys tonight, actually before, I think I've seen everyone on here. What I'm about to teach you guys tonight is that in itself, how Jess and I have been able to not only meet on Facebook, we met directly through Facebook, actually, because my husband knew her through friends and said, Kim, this girl, like, is no joke. Like, she is like, has such a positive message out there for women. And I like looked at her page and I was like, oh my God, I want to be friends with her. And that's how we connected. And I didn't say, hey, join my Beachbody group, become a coach, get into my challenge group. No, I built a relationship. And is it worth the year? Hell yeah. It was worth the year of me constantly putting out stories, connecting from her from afar when I don't even know if she was looking at it, but she was. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to really dig in tonight, and I'm so excited because it's not a slightly different approach than what we've been doing, and it's kind of why I've been in this like 3 months of like kind of hovering myself, because I'm like, how can we now challenge the norm? How can we challenge the norm within Beachbody, the norm within other network marketing companies, and all these other things that are noisy? We live in 2017. We live in a world where there's a lot about our president. There's a lot about, just things going on in the world. There's a million different products out there. How can we do it differently, even within Beachbody? And that for a bit was like, oh my gosh, am I going against Beachbody? No. I was like, no, we need this. I was like, we need to do something that sets us apart. And I've always valued that about our team, is that we are different. Like it's not one size fits all, we even within our organization. And that is something that we hear day in and day out when we hear from a coach like a Jessica or a new coach that comes on the team. It's like, it just feels different. And so social media, I wanted to bring it to you differently. And so I appreciate all of you that have bared with me if you've noticed a different change in my social media or even in me. And it's because of this. I felt like I was on to something. And I've been able to now say, okay, how can we now not only do it within our own businesses, but how can we make it easy and duplicatable? Because the way that I used to teach social media, if you've never seen me do this before, I used to give you a ton of friggin' examples. Here you go. Here you go. Here's the post. Here you go. And I never thought it was really sticking, because I want people to feel just as confident in their challenge groups, the way that they're working in their challenge group, as they are on social media. It doesn't mean you need to be an expert at all, but feel like you have a grasp on it. It still sticks in my mind. One of Vito's coaches, Sasha, who's in Hard Chargers United, she was doing a presentation, and it was just mind-blowing. And I was like, man, you are so badass, like thinking that the whole entire time. And then she brought up social media, and she was just like, I never have time for it. I kind of suck at it. It's really a pit in my day when I don't do it. Something along those lines. I'm like, what? I'm like, girl, you are so good at this business. Don't let this piece be the only thing that kind of brings you down of you wake up, you didn't get a post. You have a busy day, still didn't get a post. You're tired from the day, still didn't get a post. And you're like, damn it, I'm not a good beach body coach. I might as well not do this anymore. All because of social media. And that breaks my social media heart to shreds, because I'm like, man, how are we not giving ourselves this grace? Because there's so many different places that we can excel and really start to get confident. So now you're going to see a lot of trainings from me, specifically on social media, where you're going to have now plug and plays, where you're going to be able to use this as a cheat sheet or a Mad Libs when I talk about it in there. Okay, so I have a presentation for you guys, and we're going to get right into it. But that is really kind of setting the tone for it. And if you have any questions, always feel free to chime in, and then we'll get going. All right, so I'm going to play. All righty. Jess, can you see it? All right, cool. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me just go there. All right, so social media storytelling for dummies. Anna and Becky and myself and a lot of the leaders of the team were on a call, and we were talking about this, the books Technology for Dummies, all this kind of stuff. Anna did a cool thing for a great training that we're going to be pushing out for you guys called Leadership for Dummies. You're not dumb. The empowerment side of me was like, oh, I want to tell them that they're not dumb. So this is just really going to be idiot proof, bulletproof, being able to say plug and play, because that's something that we need in the go, go, go. You're like, wait, so I got to actually not only take care of myself and do a workout, and then I got to go figure out how to be a leader when I can barely get my kids to eat. And then I got to go be this social media guru where people are thinking I have beautiful photos when I can barely take a selfie. No. Now we're going to give it to you plug and play to be able to start to do storytelling, because another belief that we have is that, well, I'm not a writer. I don't even post up on social media, for God's sakes. And that's where this is going to really be able to give you that kind of that edge. If you've ever read the book, The Slight Edge, that is really what this is going to start to do. Okay, so big thing right here is that I always want to set the tone. Where are you at currently? Because if you are like Jess, that is in the business for just a couple months, or if you are Becky, that's been in the business for a few years, that does not mean one is better than the other. It just simply means, where are you at? Where are you at with social media? So I want you guys to write this down, because I want you to reflect on this either now or go a little bit more in depth later. Because I want you to see okay, so how do I feel about social media right now? Is it a burden? Is it something that I feel, I have a decent grasp on, or I would like to get more engagement? What is that? Because if we don't get clarity on that, storytelling in itself is going to be daunting, because right now, I remember before, like, it's just like, I just got to get a damn post out. So I'm like, boom, that freaking workout rocked. I love you, Shaun T. Click. And guess what? That is good if that's where you're at right now. I don't see any benefit, and this is just my personal opinion and helping a lot of people out with social media. I don't see any benefit in telling a coach that a sweaty selfie is the worst thing you could do, or you being able to, you saying how much you love Shaun T in a post is the worst thing you can do. And yeah, maybe other ones will help you down the road, but guess what? This is where you're at right now. Then now, where are we going? Where are you going? And this is where we take the clarity we have there. Now, where do you want to go with it? Do you want to be able to post at least once a day? Because that's a big one right there. You're like, I haven't posted in like 3 weeks right now. Do you want to be able to build an authority within it? Meaning people come to your page. People will Google. What did I call it again? I forget. I called it something, but it was the Facebook Google. But I forget what it was. But where people are going to search for your content because not only are you consistent, but you have value. Or you're just like, I just want to be able to put up a pretty photo and feel really good about that. Guess what? None of these are wrong. Reason being is because you where you're at, and this is where you're going. So these are like the goal settings that we talk about. If we are just like, we're hoping to God that like social media is like going to come down and the gifts for God and everything is always going to be magically there, it's not going to happen if we don't understand where we're at currently to where we want to go. We all can level up. I can level up in my inviting. I can level up in my leadership. We all can I can level up in social media. But I have to know where. So if you're like, I don't know where, one, we can talk about that more after the call, or we can do it at the end. But think about something that you have seen that you feel is attainable right now where your current skills and resources are. So if you have just started out and you're getting some posts out there, but you're like, man, no one's engaging in it. All right, well, I'm going to want to get somewhere people are actually making comments and saying, wow, you understand me, you get me. That's the kind of feedback that you're going to start to get with this kind of framework. And I'm going to show you that in a bit, but stay here. Write it down, jot it if you need to go back to it. Where are you going with this? And I love this video. So, Anna, I think you do know this, but I'm going to remind you. But Anna had a video, gosh, I would say maybe 3 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. But I remember it was like kind of my beginning stages of personal development. And she got this from her mentor, Todd Durkin. He's like, get your mind right. And she kept on saying in the video, and she was just like, I kept on hearing him say, like, get your mind right, get your mind right. You're like, oh, no, I'm good, I got this. And I remember saying it slightly the same way when she was saying it but I also was a sponge at that time. And I was just like, you know what? My mind isn't right. Things aren't really going the way that I want them, not only in, my Beachbody world, but also in my relationships, my own mindset. All of this. And so this sounds so simple, but yet complex. And I will say this here, and you will hear it again. But if you don't get your mind right in the fact of that you're going to get clarity on your social media, this is just for social media today, but this is like life skills. In your social media, get clarity on that to be able to take action on where you want to go. This will always be a burden on you. Always. Does that mean that you won't like have a time where you're like, man, I'm in a rut. Well, I don't know what to post. Like I'm kind of going through X, Y, and Z. 100%. But that doesn't mean that you go into, all right, I posted about that coaching opportunity, or I did my first coaching opportunity live and it sucked because I didn't tell my stories right. I didn't do all these right. No, it's just one exposure. And that's where we got to put the ego on the floor and bring the confidence up of that we're getting it right now. Is it going to always be perfect? No. But this kind of stuff, you getting on a call, you plugging into your personal and professional development, this is the kind of stuff that's going to make storytelling, and this is just for storytelling today, but everything so much easier. So when I said to you, when I was challenging the norm in the beginning of this call, this quote really stuck out to me. Live less out of habit and more out of intent. One of the biggest things that I hear from coaches is that I just don't feel real. It doesn't feel authentic for me. I don't feel me when I post. Or I feel like I'm just seeing everyone out there and I'm not there. And so now how can we take that and say, okay, how are we going to actually be intentional about it, but also understand our intentions? So when I'm going to go through this framework with you guys, and I'm going to give you examples of it, what does that mean to you? So when you put up a post about Shakeology, when you put up a post about a challenge group, when you put up a post about coaching or about you and your journey and what this is all done for you, the only thing that you have to prove to yourself is your intentions. If your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your family members, your coworkers, your everything do not believe you have true, authentic intentions, that's not your problem anymore. And I hope that you take that in today. Because the way that we put ourselves out there on a social media platform, for me, it was like I was never on. I literally had an Instagram account, had Facebook because it was just there because of college, and I was posting up Pinterest quotes for a year before my wedding, before I was a coach, because I needed accountability. Just me. I didn't care what anyone thought then, because I needed to not only see that I put it out in this universe of social media, because if I put it out there, it means I got to go get it done, right? So now you've now made this a business. You've made it a business to go now share your story, to go share your experience, to share products that have helped you. I'm going to use Jess's example, and I believe she'll be okay with this because she put it on social media. So guys, if you put it on social media, I will share it. If you extend it to me personally, I won't share it. But she put out, it was really cool because it was like a white backdrop of Shakeology. And it was pretty much like giving like ups to Shakeology for being like one of the first shakes that has helped her with her digestive system. And when I say digestive system, I say like digestive system. So she was really clear on that. And I was just like, dude, that's badass. Because that's real to her. But guess what? You got people behind the screen like, oh, someone's selling another thing on here. Oh, there we go again. No. Your intentions were real. They were true. So if you can stand ground on that. And guys, I'm like leading this up so much because storytelling feels freaking weird. You're like, who cares about my story? Who cares about my life? But this kind of stuff is what is going to not only help you in your business, but it's also going to make you feel a lot more appreciative of this business. Appreciative, like Kelsey said when she got on the call. Really, really grateful when you go see people in person and know that you can be in an environment and say, you know what? I know that like this doesn't feel right because I'm getting my mind right and I have true intentions. So when you put that out there on social media, check in with yourself. And also habit. I'm going to challenge you guys after this call and during this call. If you want to post the same way you do after this call, please, again, that needs to be your journey, the way you do it. The way that I post is not the right or wrong or indifferent. It's just something that I've seen that has worked and has connected to people to be able to get into groups, to get into other things, to be able to connect me without having one-on-one conversations. So if the habit of, I got to post like this because Beachbody told me. One, Beachbody has never told you. Two, we've always been really good with saying like, hey, these are things that have worked in our business. See if this works for you. It's not the end all. So if you see all these other Beachbody coaches or all these other network marketing coaches posting the same, then how can you now make it a little bit different? And what's really amazing about this is that even though I have a framework for you guys, it's not the same because we all have different stories. Join my challenge group. It starts on August 28th. That's, you're going to get Shakeology. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. Guess what? That is the same because those are just tactics. those are just things of like the features of what this business is. So important, but guess what? That can be that could be a conversation on the back end. That could be something where you have them fill out a form on Google or Typeforms or what's the other one? Woofu, all free, or most of them are free. I think actually all of them have free versions. That's where you go talk about the tactics or the features, qualify them, because guess what? You've shown them so much value on your social media opposed to sell, this is 20% off, 50% off, get my link, do it right now. And you know what, guys? I'm going to be honest with you, is that does work. It works. But does it work long term? No. And I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact in many businesses I've seen fail. And I know that for a fact that you won't want to do this business if you are saying features, percentage off, link. I'm telling you right now, because it's just going to run you dry. And so now, how can we now get into how to storytell? So there's 3 ways that I've kind of breaking it down for you guys. And what's cool about all 3 of these is that you could be able to use them in any shape or form. And you'll see when I show you the Mad Libs piece of it. So we're going to look at challenge groups, storytell as a coach, and also you, boo-boo. So because you as an individual, your identity, who you were before Beachbody is still you. I know one of the number 1 things that I struggled with when I first became a Beachbody coach, no one told me this. This is something that I put on myself, is I felt that's all I was. Is that my identity was just Beachbody. Everyone would see me when they're out. They're like, oh man, I can't eat that around you because you're a Beachbody coach. Oh man, I didn't get my workout in because, I'm like, why are you telling me that? Like, we're having drinks right now. Like, and it's just because I thought that was my identity. And guess what? That was my identity on a social platform. So to their defense, they were right. So this right here, the you, boo-boo, just because I liked it. I call my dog, actually I call them all that. My animals, boo-boo. None of their names are boo-boo. Term of endearment, I guess. So this right here, the you piece is so vital, because then you're going to start to be able to share pieces that people are going to remember you for. Why should people know that, I love Netflix and I have my 69-pound labs on my lap, and like that's where you can most find me, eating pizza and have my dogs on my lap? Why do they need to know that? Because when they see pizza and when they see, these, the absurd pictures of my dogs, they're going to remember me in a different light. They're going to remember me as a human being that can relate to them. And they're also going to remember me that I'm also someone that they can trust. I was thinking about this the other day for one of my other programs, and I'm like, how can I get people to trust me more? Because this is hard stuff we're talking about in this program, like really freaking hard stuff. And so how do I get that? And it's through this. It's through storytelling. And so I'm like, all right, I just haven't storytelled to them enough. I haven't been able to show them enough value that they can trust someone on a virtual level to go take it this far. AKA get into a group, get into a program, whatever that is for you. Do the opportunity. Jess was a great testimonial. Jess, I'll pay you later for that one. But Jess was a great testimonial on the fact that it was a year. Does it always take that long? Maybe, maybe not. But it was a year of me storytelling, connecting with her on a genuine level, because I wanted to be able to show her these opportunities, show her these, these ways of doing business on a virtual level. All right, so now, why storytelling? I kind of got that in a little bit, but there's a lot of stuff of like, get to know without even talking to each other. This is, I think, one of the main ones that I think we can kind of hone in on, because a lot of us do this part-time. Not a lot of us. I don't know if anyone on the call potentially does this like 40 to 50 hours a week. So looking at it as a part-time way, it's like, how can we now capture people from them just scrolling through our Facebook page and also through our Instagram, which is a lot easier because you can tell a story off grids. So when I think about that, it's like, hey, this is actually helping you not put in as many hours in the business because you're sending a value off into the universe, off into the virtual world where it's like, hey, they're going to get to know you while you're sleeping. They're going to get to know you when they're silently trying to just build up trust, but they still need someone to help them out with their workouts, their mindset, and potentially a coaching opportunity down the road because they want more meaning and purpose. You're going to engage in others through this kind of process. A big thing that we struggle with is no one responds to our Facebook, meaning likes and comments, which is not the end all. I've always said that. But when you start to get the likes and the comments where people that are, really watching you, really wanting to see, what you're up to, what you're doing, it's pretty badass because you're also boosting your algorithm. So that scary thing of Facebook and Instagram algorithm, this is how we do it on an organic level. I was saying this on a training, that was going into one of our trainings for Coach University. And I was like, we can talk about the Facebook algorithms and the tactics on how to do that because that's exactly what it is. They're tactics because they're changing. But this kind of stuff right here, these are going to be strategies that you're going to be able to keep forever. They're not going to, maybe you'll tweak here and there because your story's changing. But this kind of stuff stays forever. And so that's in itself it's comforting because social media is always evolving. So you're like, what gives this? So people so you start to entertain them in a different way. And then you can give them more of like a virtual book versus a sales page. I don't know how many times I've come across in the last 3 months because of this tunnel vision that I've had that I'm like, damn, like freaking like this person because I know them as a human being. But it's a sales page. This is all it is right here. It's just a damn sales page. And you may not want to hear this, but social media is not designed for that. It's not designed to sell people. It's designed to be social. If we go back to, 15 years ago, maybe about 13, 15 years ago, 2004, Facebook came out. So like 13 years ago. And we kind of go through the history of what it's doing. I'm talking about like on a posting level. Facebook ads, totally different story. And I'll talk about how you can sell on here. But it's designed for people to be social, to interact. It's now becoming like to inspire and motivate, educate on different levels. But you're not supposed to actually sell, especially on your personal page. And what that means is 20% off. Here's my link. And I can safely say that a lot of you guys aren't doing that. If not all of you. So you don't have to worry about that. But on your personal page specifically, Facebook could shut you down for that. But on your your like page, you're good. You could sell like that. But now it's a matter of how are you giving them value to click off of Facebook, aka a form. If you have like a landing page that's a little bit more advanced, but you can do a Google form or a Woohoo form. How are you getting them to click off? How are you getting them to reach out opposed to selling them all in a post? Because that's where people are going to scroll right past. And then this kind of stuff is going to get you into their shoes. I thought this was really cool, like a different way of relating. I was talking to a client the other day, and she was saying to me that she saw a yoga post from me. And she said, I just felt like I needed yoga after that. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, like the way that you described it, the way that it was there, I wanted just yoga. I wanted yoga after that. And I'm like, perfect. Let's do the 3-week yoga retreat next week for you. And she's like, awesome. You're getting into their shoes. So how can you get into their Louis Vuittons, I don't know what shoes your girl is wearing, or your Converses, or your flip-flops, or your Uggs, whatever it is, slippers, I live in those. How are you getting into their shoes? And then let's bring it back to you, because guess what? This is about you. It's a reflection for you to see how far you've come. That's what I love about this framework. And I've been building up, I've been building up a lot of this to get to what I think is actually going to be very easy for you guys, because it's a Mad Libs. Like if you've ever, done the Mad Libs when you're younger, just like fill in the blank. I always got caught because I'm like, I don't even know what an adjective is. Like I only know what a noun is because like I've been reiterated that. So Mad Libs was a little hard for me, but this is an easy Mad Libs. But you're going to be able to now reflect. You're going to get excited about, wow. Like before, like Corey, if you're on, I saw a post from you recently and I'm like, that's some freaking awesome storytelling right there. She's reflecting on where she's been, where she was before, and now where she's going. And that in itself is just massive, because that will give you the gratitude for not only your own journey, but to help others with their journey. Because when we lose sight of that, it does get jumbled. It does get jaded. We do kind of get like, what's the point? Why post? Why do another challenge group? Why, get on Becky's coaching opportunity after this? Why? Because you're going to now reflect on these story times. And as much as we probably love story times as children, I was not read to as a child. It's maybe why I can barely know what an adjective is. But with the story times as a child, that's a totally another therapy session in itself. But the story times as a child, why did we like it so much? Because we felt like comfort. We felt we were connected to the story. We could put ourselves in the shoes. We could reflect on how we could be, Peter Pan and live, as a kid for the rest of our lives. That's what you're doing right here. So now the challenge group. Okay. So now what you're going to see is that these are going to be, and I'm going to share all these with you guys afterwards, so you can have this plug and play system. And so when we started the post, so like I was saying in the beginning of the call, is I always gave you examples and I always gave you kind of like word for word. And I started to realize, like, is that really helping them? Doesn't matter. It helped. I agree with it helped, but it was a Band-Aid. This is now, you're ripping off the Band-Aid. The wound is healing. Everything is amazing. And now you're freaking strong as ever to be able to put in your own words. So think about this when you're talking about a challenge group. Today I'm feeling, a little down because I was up all night with my kids, and it was a little bit frustrating because I knew I had to have an early workout. But if I didn't get to that workout, I wouldn't have been able to have a productive day at work. Now I'm feeling like check off my list because there's so many things on my to-do list. But when I know when I get that workout done and the shake in, I feel so much better. I'm going to leave it there because there's going to be a call to action that I'm going to show you at the end. So you see what I did there? Today I'm feeling a little. If I couldn't believe it, I couldn't believe it when someone told me that meal replacement shakes were a bunch of BS. Well, guess what? I've been using this for the last 3.5 years, and the bullshit that I've been seeing is that I can't believe I waited all of my life to not do this because I was craving chocolate almost every single day. I was eating a box of pasta in one sitting. I'm so glad I'm able to share this with my challenge group, blah, 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 blah. That's a post now. So these are designed to be able to kind of give you that jump start to be able to go to the post. So if I could tell my 15-year-old self anything, it'd be love yourself more because you're going to need it when you get older. I learned this through my personal development this morning, and I reflected it in my group, with the women that are on this journey as well. A lot of them struggle with this as well. Tag a friend that needed this motivation today. That's a call to action, which I'm going to show you at the end. Know that these right here, everything that you're seeing right now for 1, 2, and 3, the post isn't done just yet because I want to just focus on call to actions at the end. So bear with me. So guys, if you have any questions, obviously, unmute yourself, anything like that. But is this something that you feel like you can use? Is this something that you could be like, you know what? I don't have a brain fart today, and I can freaking create a post about my challenge group, or about, what's going on in my challenge group, or about what's going on in my workout routine that you're doing right now. I'm constantly telling people, because I get a lot of women in my tribe, AKA me, that they're like, I just don't want to do just workouts every single day. And, Beachbody on Demand. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. I do 4 at home because it saves me a boatload of time. I don't have to go to the gym, because when I do my toggle, which is my tracking of my time, when I have to go to a Bar3 studio or go to a hot yoga studio, that is 2 hours to almost 2.5 out of my day. I'm like, but I love the energy. So I'm rewarding myself in my mind of going 2 days a week, opposed to when those 1.5 to 2 is the norm, to be away from the house from start to finish. And that's why people don't go. That's why people can really come up with an excuse, because 2 hours a day is kind of a lot right now, like in a lot of people's worlds. So I do 4 days with Beachbody On Demand and 2 at my studios. So I share that with them about this in post, about this in Facebook Lives and all these other things. So now, it's one of my favorite. I don't know why I just did that. Like, yeah. One of those like gifts being. So storytelling for coach. Reason why I like this one is because you have a ton to work with here. So you're going to do step 1. And then go to step 2, step 3. And I'm going to give you the kind of the Mad Libs piece to it. I work with a lot of women that struggle with getting in their workout daily. This is from a coach perspective. I work with a lot of women that are finding that they don't have a lot of purpose, with what they do in their day to day. They need help with even finding time to find that purpose, because right now they are constantly at the whim of other people's schedule. But I'm lucky enough to be able to teach them that you can achieve balance when you start to look at priorities in your life and really think, what is this, like, priorities in your life, and what do I want out of my life? What do I value to be the best mom, best wife, and best person out there in the world? Again, there's a call to action at the end. That's how I share about coaching. So it's like, I coach women on how to feel empowered I coach women on how to find their voice within this noisy world. They struggled with speaking up in a crowd of 1, let alone in a crowd of 100. Now I'm able to remind them that not only can they speak loudly in front of others, but they're speaking so loud within that they feel empowered to take on more. So I used, I coach from step 1. I use step 2, struggle with, and then step 3, remind them. So I know I'm being able to do it off the hook because I'm a geek and I've been in this for a lot and I do content for a living. So it's just like I'm constantly writing, but guess what? You're going to be able to do this more because you are able to now write more. I think one of the things that I was learning the other day from some people, it's like, the more I write, aka put out posts, the more I feel confident. And that's like, again, simple but yet complex. So the more you try these kind of frameworks and try these Mad Libs out, the more you'll feel natural. And another thing, and then Kels brought this up, and I thought this is a huge pain point for me, is that I feel like I have to give my whole story on coaching, my whole story on who I am as an individual in one post. This gives you the framework to be able to be like, cut it off, sister, right here, go, go, go. And then you're going to have a call to action, which I'll show you at the end. Because the call to action is really what is going to have people not only reach out to you, but also want to be in those groups or in the coaching opportunity. And the last one, about you. Like I was saying before, your identity here is not just a Beachbody coach. You are a mom. You are a wife. You are a sister. You are a brother. There's no men on here. No one's a brother. But you are an entrepreneur. You are a nurse. You are a lot. We talk about those 6 roles. And so this is where, how can we bring those 6 roles with a little bit of personality, with a little bit of you? You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be this like super extroverted, like charismatic type person, because you have your little corner of the world in this virtual experience known as a post. And that's where you can now be able to say, okay, hey there, I'm Kim, and I actually just did this today. So I'm actually going to read it off. I did this today, 1, because I wanted to do it and show you guys. And 2, it was time to do it again. Because these are posts you're going to be able to do again and again and again and again. Reason being, because people have like a 7-second attention span. as human beings, goldfish have 3. That's not good, guys. So just know that you're going to be able to do these posts a million times over. And so I said there, right off this framework, hey there, I'm Kim from a town that's known for the biggest candle in the world around Christmas time. No joke. I don't know why. It's absurd. It's huge. Most days you can find me on the couch with a messy bun and 2 69-pound lab dogs on my lap, a cat trying to eat my food, and me asking my husband for more wine. I am mostly known for eating pizza, listening to rap music while I work out, and helping women find balance in their life. People often refer to me as a lip-syncing in-sync lover and a girl with a big old smile. I love serving the world. Hold on one second. I love serving the world by showing other women they have a voice within the 4 walls of their home, their minds, and the outside world. The things I'm most passionate about is loving on the people in my life. I'm also really passionate about Netflix series that put me in the comfy corner of my couch. I'm your everyday girl. If you were sitting with me, which is a little repetitive. I'm gonna go edit this. I'm your everyday girl. If you were sitting with me on the couch, but I feel we all have something special in us. It's just a matter when we let it out. Double tap if you're just as much of a pizza fan as me. Nice to meet you virtually. Look forward to meeting you in person one day, if we haven't yet. So is that to a group? No. Is that to a coaching opportunity? No. That is to get the heck in my community. I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with you and bring you value because I want to bring you so much freaking value that you want to be in a challenge room with me. You want to be in a coaching opportunity. You want to hang with me. We always hear this in this business and it's true. So you got to really dig into that. Are you choosing the people to be in your community? I wasn't. I was just taking anyone that would want to come. I'm like, you want to come on with tea? Awesome, come on. And it doesn't mean that that was bad. But what it does mean is that I'm now able to say, okay, people are going to be attracted to this. I have true intentions behind it because it's me as an individual, what's impacted me within Shakeology and the products and the workouts and what this coaching opportunity has done for me, not what it's done for the top coach. That's not my story. And I did that for a while. I would look and I'd be like, okay, that's how they posted it. Awesome. I'm going to go do it like that, but in a little bit with my twist. And you know what? That worked for a while. But now, like I said in the beginning of the call, how are we able to challenge the norm? And that's with our own story. So now, this is my favorite part. Why this is my favorite part? Because this is now where the magic happens. The magic is in your story. Do not get me wrong. But now they're like jacked up. Like you entertain them. They're like, man, I freaking feel her. Like she is like in my head. I am in her shoes right now. Like I want to do what she's doing. Or I feel like we are sisters. Like we are like one and the same. When Jess said that again, I got to pay Jessica. When Jess said that, I was like, man, that is the most rewarding thing because that is my goal because I want people in my tribe that doesn't mean we have to be identical, but we just get each other. Because that is a better relationship when we're doing one-on-ones, when we're in groups together, when we're in calls, and we're going towards those dreams that we want. Again, it doesn't have to be identical, but are you putting out a message that people feel connected to you? AKA, do you feel connected to it? I had a post up the other day, and I took it down. And I was just, someone asked, it's funny because someone asked me, they're like, where did your post go? I actually saw it, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I took it down. I'm like, why? I was like, I didn't connect to it. What do you mean? It was great. I was like, I'm so sorry that I took it down for you. Like, I just really didn't connect to it. And, now in hindsight, 2020, I should have kept it up, but I didn't connect to it. And that's how passionate I am about what I put out there. But look at this. When you have a time come up, if you've been in this business for a bit, you're going to look at those posts. And instead of looking at them like, oh, damn, like that's what I was doing back then, see how you were, reflect, and now do that in the story. Because I look at those posts now, it's not like, oh, man, I should have been posting like that. I should have been doing like this. It's like, no, that's where the tools and the resources and the mindset and where I was in my life, that's where it was. Now how can I go share a story on where I was then to now on this, in this framework? So the CTA, the call to actions, this is for all of them, every single one of them. If you take anything from today, it's this. Every single one of your posts, again, disclaimer, you don't have to post like this. I just am seeing, I've been seeing it a lot in the market, been seeing it just really helping with this organic reach, an organic algorithm that you can debunk on your own. And the call to action needs to be in every single post. So before, I used to kind of talk about call to actions, and we've heard it a lot through other leaders and coaches on the team, is call to action into your group, call to action into your coaching opportunity. Like, comment below if you're interested, click, reach out to me if blah, 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 if you want to get on this call. Those are also really important, but now we're taking a step further and saying this is in every single one of your posts. Because if you're not clear with them, they're not going to do it. So you put up a post and it's about a challenge group, but you're not telling them where to go. People lose that attention span, 7 seconds. They're done. They're out. They're on to the next scroll. They're on to the next thing and they do the house. So this right here is giving you an opportunity to not only strengthen that muscle in asking more, because I get a lot of this, and me as well, is like asking for, get into my coaching opportunity, get into that challenge group. This right here is actually making you do it every single post. So it now increases it when you have to do those hard stuff of, do you want to join my group? Do you want to join my challenge group? Or you want to join my coaching opportunity? So double tap or like on Facebook. Be very clear on this, guys, is make sure you're doing the same verbiage on the right platform. People notice that. So double tap, that's Instagram. Like, that's on Instagram, on Facebook. Tag your BFF. This is great. Why? Because if they related to it, they probably have 2 more friends that did, and that's now growing your reach. Tell me what your favorite pizza topping is. Share your most used emoji. People love that. I shared this with someone the other day. Describe your weekend in an emoji. This one's really fun. So you're getting that engagement in the comments, and you're getting people to do this. Does this work every time for me? No. But what it does is that it really starts to increase that engagement, and it also increases your confidence that people actually want to see what you're doing. And it's powerful. It's really powerful stuff. And then I leave you with this. You've been assigned to this mountain called social media, this mountain called life in general. Whatever this is, maybe you didn't come to this call for social media. Maybe you just needed to pick me up. Maybe you needed to see me just be really extremely weird. But you have been assigned to this mountain to show others it can be moved. This thing called social media, this thing called this business can feel like a beast. But when we collaborate and really be able to see like how it can be simplified for us in the very limited time that we have some days, to be able to get the engagement out there that we really want and deserve, because you guys all have a voice, you all have a message, and it will be heard. It will. All right, stop shot. Okay, guys. I sweat all the time with this. You do, boo you. Does anyone have any questions?
All I have to say is ad libs, such a great idea. Just such a great little cheat sheet. I love that. I've never really even thought about even doing that for myself. But I think that with that framework that you gave us, we should even think about our own ad libs. If you find yourself kind of like posting and you have a system and you didn't even realize it, because I realize it, that some of the stuff that you're sharing, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of do something similar, but I've never really paid attention or mapped it out. That's your own cheat sheet to start getting more consistent with your flow and what you like to do. So use what, yes, you gave us, because that's an amazing outline of different ways to match up our content. But then also think about what is authentic to you, what feels good, what do you like to post about, how do you like to convey your message, because that'll give you your own little cheat sheet in the future as you're posting. So just amazing. I love it.
It's huge. It is, because like right then and there, it's just like, it's just you're now like getting to a place where you feel so in control of your social media. I think that's a lot of things that people struggle with. They're like, I don't feel in control.
Right.
Because it's just like, you're not getting what you want. And sometimes it's, sometimes it initially feels like it's likes and comments, which, I hope it's not that all the time for you, but it's people really converting into not only followers, but customers and coaches. So that's good, Anna. I like that.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions? Let me look in here. Oh, cool. Did I get that right, Madeline? I was actually thinking that halfway through the speech. I'm like, is that what it's called? I'm trying to think if anyone had any questions before I got on this call.
I have a question about, I'm trying to turn my video on, sorry. I was eating dinner and I want you guys to see me like soft down my throat. But what is your advice, like, as far as, because when you post on different platforms, so right now, like what I put on Instagram is pretty much the same as what I put on Facebook. Yeah. Do I change it up? Is it something that I should delay, or is it fine to do that?
I personally think it's fine. I haven't seen anywhere that it's like, this is how you do it on Facebook, this is how you do it on Instagram. The only thing I would say on Instagram, even though I still do this, is shorter. I even like, if my post is long enough, I'm like, that's going right in the comments. We're going to go in the comments. I'm like, and I've had people like the comment that I put it in. I'm like, 2 people. Yeah, so I'm like, so I mean, that's just kind of maybe one of the things. Like maybe use it a little bit shorter, but no, I mean, I really, with all the studying I do in social media, I haven't seen much out there that it should be different.
Okay.
Like instead of like, Facebook ads, obviously that's well, that's not true. It goes to Instagram now, but just like a different way of showing blogs, like that looks a little bit different on Facebook. But other than that, I mean, anyone else?
I think Gary Vee talks about that in Jab, 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 Right Hook a little bit. Yeah. And basically just that if you're doing the Instagram stuff, you want to think about the fact that it's really visually based. And so you want to make sure that if you're sharing it on Instagram, that it's something that's going to catch attention visually. So for me anyway, the posts that don't have like a really exciting visual, I might not post it in Instagram. But or just posting it differently, right? You might use a different photo or something like that in Instagram because it's just such a quick, flip through. And that people expect a little bit more content in Facebook. But I share a lot of my content between both because I think ultimately it's like you want to kind of get better and better. Do you need to like get in the weeds of like, is this the very best Instagram post? Like probably better to get posts out there.
No, but Kels, you have a great point to that. Like Ebony, like I saw your post from today. That's eye-catching on Instagram and also on Facebook. You know what I mean? So that's a great point. I forgot about that from Jab Jab Right Hook. You should go back to that book.
And then Kim, I really like what you started out with when you talk about your intent of what you put out there, because I think when I struggled so much with social media in the beginning because I was so worried about how the person was reading my message instead of what did I want to put out there. And ever since I've just been like putting what I feel, it kind of takes that like annoying, like, I have to do a post. Like, so that is like such a good point that you made.
That's huge. I mean, I'm a, victim to that too. Like I'd be like, okay, what are they going to think about this when I did this? Damn, this is a terrible post now. And it's just because you're not thinking about the people that you want to impact. You're thinking about the judgment. So I will say this, like the judgment won't, personally, and a lot of people, it won't outweigh the impact. It just won't ever. So when you think about the impact of what you're going to put in that post, you always come out on top. So it's good. All right, I'm going to stop recording to keep it on 60.